Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jordan and I wanted to make a video today about how YouTube changed my life without a huge following at all. One of my friends, Jen, she just relaunched or started like a new YouTube channel, which I'll link below in the description. And she went from like 0 subscribers basically to almost 2,000 subscribers in what looks like about 10 days. And she made a video about this, about how YouTube changed her life. And I figured, I'm like, let me piggyback on this trend and make a video about how YouTube changed my life. But the way that YouTube changed my life is not going to be the same way that I think a lot of people would imagine. A lot of people are like, oh, you have like people who are on social media like get all these partnership deals or they get free stuff or whatever. And although I'm going to dive into that a little bit during this video, I want to talk to you guys about some other ways that YouTube has actually changed my life. So when I first got started on YouTube, I really had started YouTube because I was doing real estate videos at the time. There wasn't really like anybody making real estate content on like Instagram. Like there weren't really real estate video content yet. This was before Reels started taking place. I'm pretty sure it was like before TikTok. But I decided, I'm like, I really want to make content about real estate in video format. So let me just do it on YouTube. My cousin, Emily, she has a really, really big YouTube channel called Flying Sparks Garage. And she always really advocated for me to get on YouTube. And she just was like, I really think this is going to be super beneficial for you. So anyways, when I got on YouTube and I started sharing my real estate content, that was going well for like, I don't know, a year or two. To be honest, my channel wasn't really taking off. I was posting videos that were like getting views. My channel was kind of growing subscribers, but not really. And then I hit a huge block, a huge like life-changing moment in my life. And those of you guys that know, about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I found out that a rare incurable eye disease that I had been diagnosed with when I was 15 actually was progressing really rapidly and that I was kind of in a threat of losing my vision. And so when that happened about 3 years ago, I was in the midst of like trying to get my YouTube channel to be about real estate, and I wanted to have like at the time like a Selling Sunset, like real life vlog style real estate channel. And then I hit this huge block in my life. I became extremely depressed. I stopped working. I didn't work for like, I don't know, maybe 4 to 6 months. I just hit a huge block and was like super just depressed, not getting out of bed, not inspired, whatever. And at some point during that process of me being really depressed and me being in a really dark place, I got inspired to share my real life journey about something that was really, really personal that was going on in my life, which was me, worrying about and being scared of this diagnosis that I had received and wondering if I was going to lose my vision. And so during this process of like me being in a really dark place, for some reason, there was one day that I was super, super frustrated. I was super fed up. I was sitting in like a parking lot of a doctor's office that I didn't want to go into. And I just decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to post about this online. And I had no idea how this was going to affect my life. I had no idea like what was about to happen. But that day I went home from that doctor's appointment and I made a video for YouTube about how I was potentially going to lose my vision and how I was so scared that I was going to go blind. And when I made that video, the outpour of love and support from people that I knew, people that I didn't know, like was crazy. First of all, it scared the shit out of me, to be honest with you. I was so freaked out because people were really freaking out and were really upset for me that I had this diagnosis. And it kind of like made me even more scared of the diagnosis because of how much everyone was freaking out. But it also was really therapeutic and like comforting that I was able to share my story and be so real and so blunt about something really dark and heavy on social media, because a lot of social media is a lot of like people's highlight reels. A lot of social media is just a lot of people like stunning for the gram. Like they're making it seem like, oh, look at all of the money that I'm making, all the fancy cars that I have, and the expensive bags and the lavish vacations, and look at me and my partner, which may or may not like actually be a happy situation. You know, like a lot of stuff on social media can be like fake or materialistic or whatever. And when I went into a really dark place in my life and I was dealing with something extremely heavy, I decided that I was going to post about what was going on, and I was going to be really blunt, and it was going to be an opportunity for me to kind of have a online diary, but also for me to show the world that not everything is always like rosy and like red. Like not everything is always as it seems. A lot of people saw me as like this real estate Barbie, like, oh, she's out here killing it and she has this big team and they're all looking at fancy high-rise buildings. Like a lot of people looked at me as like a huge success in the real estate world in my city. And although that wasn't even true, to be honest, although that was the furthest thing from true, I was dealing with something really heavy and I needed to get it off my chest. And so when I opened up about the diagnosis and the like really dark place that I was in, it allowed me to actually be seen for what seemed like for the first time in my life. It allowed me to validate my experience and validate like what it was that I was going through, just from the response and the support I was getting from strangers and people that I knew. And also it was able, by me getting on YouTube and me sharing like my journey, it also allowed me to connect with other people that were either experiencing similar things to me or people that were like just experiencing dark times of their own. And I think that when I got on YouTube and decided that I was going to start showing up as my true authentic self, it allowed me to just step into this version of myself that I like had always known was inside, but I just really didn't like show up as that person in everyday life. And so when I got on YouTube and started like sharing my story, no, I didn't have a whole bunch of followers, but it allowed me to really be able to process like my emotions and be able to process my emotions with the support of complete strangers and be able to connect with complete strangers about things that, that I could resonate with, they could resonate with. Like it really just allowed me to connect with other people. And as I kind of moved through my YouTube journey, like after sharing like the dark place that I was going through in my life, then I decided to start traveling the world. I thought I was going to lose my vision, and I decided to pack up everything and go to Thailand and start traveling. And as I began traveling, I was able to honestly pitch my story and pitch my like presence on social media to really like barter and exchange like my accommodations during my travels. And so a lot of people thought when I was traveling that like, oh, you're so lucky that you can afford to go travel everywhere. I'm like, no, honestly, I'm leveraging my social media, my YouTube channel, my Instagram. And although I didn't have a huge following, I was leveraging, look at my story. People resonate with me. My story is real. Like I want to have your resort or your accommodation, your Airbnb. I want to have you be a part of my story. Like people are following along with me and my journey as I packed up everything from being a real estate agent in Dallas to going and traveling the world after this diagnosis. So YouTube allowed me to like connect with other people. You know, it was therapeutic for me, but it also allowed me to get opportunities of like being able to travel for free, like have free accommodations in a lot of different scenarios that I was in. It also allowed me to get invited to a lot of different like events, be able to participate in different like retreats and things like that, because people saw the way that I was showing up on social media and they resonated with my authentic real life story, and they wanted to be a part of it, or they wanted me to be a part of their experience. And so YouTube, like, even though I didn't have a huge following, I didn't have I wasn't like monetized at this point in time. I was able to connect with others and also get really great experiences, and also be able to like barter my way through traveling throughout the world. Then that takes me to the next step of my process and how YouTube like helped shift and change my life is that when I decided to get my breast implants removed, this was, down through my personal development, like spiritual journey, my wellness, my detox journey. I was able to share my story about wanting to get my breast implants taken out, which helped me connect with somebody in Mexico who connected me with her doctor that she had gone through the same exact process. And then I ended up documenting my entire process of deciding to get my breast implants removed and getting a surgery out of my home country. And that entire process all wouldn't have happened had I had not just shown up authentically on YouTube, showed up online and shared my story about, hey, I think that this is like something I want to do. And what do you know? I'm connected with somebody in Mexico, and I ended up flying out there and moving out there for a while, moving to Sayulita in the Puerto Vallarta area for about 6 months. And it was all because of YouTube, honestly. And this is all before I even monetized my channel. This was all before I was like getting brand deals or getting paid for like certain collaborations. This was all like truly authentic. Like I'm just showing up, I'm telling my real life story, and then just opportunities and connections with other people were just presenting themselves to me. After I had my breast implants removed, I was connecting like with people around the world. I've had so many like Zoom calls with people that it's like people in Australia or people like when I was living in Mexico, I was talking to people that were living in the States. I was connecting with people in India just by me sharing my story about either like my eye condition or my detox journey or my breast implant journey. I was like connecting with people all over the world that resonated with some piece of my journey, or they just resonated with me in general. And this was, again, all before monetization. And now where I'm at, like with my YouTube journey, is I have monetized my channel. No, I'm not making a ton of money through monetization, but I am getting brand partnership deals. I'm getting requests for that. So I feel like the amount of things that I have received just from like that I've received before money even came into play was so worth like all of the vulnerability, all of the work that I put into my YouTube channel. So those of you that have been like considering thinking about like doing a YouTube channel, let me just tell you that YouTube and like getting on social media, it's not even just for the money. It's not even just for the clout. It's not just for trying to make your life seem really amazing when either it is or it isn't. Who knows? But for me getting on YouTube changed my life because it allowed me to show up authentically as myself, hold myself accountable, and say, hey, like this doesn't resonate with me. I'm not showing up online like this. And really challenge myself to not be one of those people that like is a totally different person online than who they are in real life. So me getting on YouTube really helped me hold myself accountable, helped me show up authentically as myself. It allowed me to connect with other people around the world who were struggling with similar things that I was, or that were just resonating with my story. And like YouTube helped me travel. YouTube helped me gain experiences, be invited to certain rooms that I probably wouldn't have been invited to previously, all because I just showed up online. And it really didn't matter what my subscribers were. It really didn't matter if I was like raking in all of this money, because the amount of experiences that I've gotten to experience and the amount of connections I've had just from being on YouTube and just showing up online and sharing my authentic, true story about my life has put me in so many like amazing experiences that I never would have gotten to experience. So now as somebody who is trying to grow their channel and trying to actually make this some sort of like help me make my living, like some sort of a business, I'm still trying to keep in mind the fact that like my channel started off because of like me wanting to be therapeutic for myself, me wanting to connect with others, me wanting to inspire and be real and show people that life can be dark and isn't always pretty. And I'm trying to keep that in mind as I'm trying to now grow my monetization, be intentional about my partnerships and like who I want to promote on my channel, because that's where my channel started off as, and I want to make sure that I like hold authentically to that same concept. So for those of you that are like considering getting on YouTube or considering just showing up authentically as yourself online, like YouTube did change my life, and it is the ways that I have just mentioned. It wasn't about money. Like it wasn't about how many followers I had. It was simply something different. It was the connection. It was the experiences. It was the therapy for me to just be real. And this is how YouTube changed my life. So those of you that are thinking about getting started on YouTube or getting started just showing up as you are, I really, really encourage you to do so, because you never know what rooms you could be walking into because of it, or you never know who's mentioning your name in like other rooms that you might not ever have met those people if they had not found you online. So I want to know in the comments below, are you considering starting a YouTube channel? Are you somebody who's struggling growing your YouTube channel? Like, I want to know in the comments below where you're at in your YouTube journey, because I can honestly say that YouTube changed my life. So please make sure to like and please share this video. Please subscribe to my channel. As I mentioned, I am super passionate about showing up and being super real online, and I'm trying to help. I'm trying to like turn this into income for me, like a solid income, as somebody who is disabled or no longer driving. I'm trying to like really help myself create several different paths of income. So by you subscribing to my channel or sharing my channel with somebody else, you're helping me have that dream of like having passive income. So thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next video.